Good morning from Moscow. It's Tuesday the 28th of July, and today I'd like to tell you a little bit about this man. This is Vyacheslav Volodin, who is a big fan of Vladimir Putin and who received a medal yesterday from the Russian president for valiant labour. Now, Mr. Volodin is the Speaker of the Duma, the lower house of the Russian parliament, and in the past he said things like, "If there's no Putin, there's no Russia." Yesterday, at the Duma's final session ahead of elections in September, the Speaker went into pro-Putin overdrive once again and, addressing MPs, repeated 5 times, "Russia, Putin, victory." The headline in today's Moskovsky Komsomolets. A reporter from Kommersant reports that when MPs met President Putin later in the day, the MPs applauded him as they should applaud. One of the MPs, unable to part with his mobile phone, held it in his left hand and bashed it with his right hand so hard that I had no doubt this was one of those iPhones so hated of late. It wasn't just the Speaker who got an award. The members of different party factions received honours and medals, first and foremost deputy speakers and chairs of parliamentary committees. And Izvestia informs us that when Speaker Volodin received his, he emphasised that the main achievement of the last 5 years was turning the Duma into a united monolith, which shared responsibility for the fate of the country. Quote, "Parliament united around the agenda of developing the country, the President's agenda. Together we will win." According to Komsomolskaya Pravda, in his speech, Vladimir Putin took aim at the Russophobic machine of the West, which is setting world records for sanctions. Well, judging by the editorial in today's Nezavisomaya Gazeta, many of those sanctions on Russia won't be lifted anytime soon. Sanctions on Russia will remain for a long time. When the conflict with Kiev is over, it will take years of difficult negotiations, compromises and inevitable concessions before they are lifted. From Parliament and Putin to petrol. And Moskovsky Komsomolets reports that a number of Russian territories continue to experience noticeable fuel discomfort. That's another way of saying that there are still fuel shortages. Interruptions to supply and restrictions on the sale of fuel are still being recorded in the Novosibirsk, Irkutsk and Tomsk regions, Altai, Zabaykalsk and Krasnoyarsk regions, Tuva and Yakutia. Although the paper claims that the situation is showing a positive trend, the number of working petrol stations is growing, queues are decreasing. There is fuel in Moscow, but this is the result of manual control and the emergency transfer of resources from other regions. And finally, to the joke section of Komsomolskaya Pravda today, and this brief conversation. Have you been anywhere this year? Yes. In shock. And the magazine However Life features this conversation down at the polyclinic. Instead of your urine sample, you've brought apple juice. Goodness, what have I given my son to take to school?